Peace, 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 love, light, and healing, peace, love, light, and healing, peace to the guys, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in. Let me make sure I'm going live on Instagram.
See, I'm not yet.
All right, so I'm in. Peace, 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 love, light, and healing, peace, love, light, and healing, peace to the earth, peace to the guys, peace to the guys, peace to the earth, peace to all of y'all, Mishpaka. Shalom, Lakah family, climb in. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? It's been a minute. I've been in the background working, y'all, getting everything ready, getting everything together. But hey, I'm back. Man, I got notes packed, like literally stacked up to here. So I said, let me get on this live and let me holler at y'all. Because if I don't, it's going to be millions of letters and y'all going to be mad at me. All right, I see we got YouTube family in the building. Peace, peace, peace. Yes, we alive right now. Blessings, blessings. Baruch atah, Baruch atah. Bless y'all. All right, we got Instagram. Instagram is in the building. We just need Facebook. Facebook. I don't see my Facebook. You? Let me check.
You got a little drag on me. I'm about a minute.
Can y'all hear me good and can y'all see me good? Just making sure we live on all platforms. Facebook live as well. All right, shouts out to Facebook. Everybody live.
On Yahki Clinic?
Yep, Yahki Clinic, Yahki Awakened, the personal page, everybody live. How y'all been, family? It's been going down. I got my Nabi candle burning. Nabi make these himself, y'all. He use essential oils. The wax he uses is organic. I mean, everything he does to these candles, they smell so good. I've been burning these. Like, there's been a lot of spiritual warfare going on, so I've been burning candles and, been in prayer and fasting mode. But I use these during my troublesome time. So shouts out to Nabi for his candles. He usually sell these. He sell them at our events when we doing our lectures, when we doing our classes, and he sell them when we go out and we do conferences. So shouts out to Nabi for the candles. Y'all got to cop some. All right, if y'all ready to get this started, if y'all got y'all pens and pads, I need the pen and pad emoji in the comment section. Give me the pen and pad emoji in the comment section. Let me know that you're ready. I got my pen. I got my letter. It's time to mark this thing up, and it's time to really, really learn something. Let me see him. Let me see him. I'm seeing the pens and pads. Now y'all got to type in some nines. Type in some nines and we're going to get this started. Burn me some Palo. Get it smelling good up in here. All right, let's do it. So, I titled this basically saying something that will completely change the way you view health. A lot of y'all been mailing me in a bunch of stuff. It's been coming to my clinic, 2402 North Highway 67. We got piles and piles of mail stacked on top of each other. We've been inside of the facility seeing a lot of people, getting the school together. So we've been real busy, so I ain't been able to really get to y'all. But today I went in, I seen another stack of mail. I said, let me just pick a random one and pull it out. If y'all could, though, instead of writing me the letters, could y'all please type them up? Because it's hard for me to read them when y'all writing them with y'all own handwriting. I seen y'all handwriting is sloppy, but it's hard for me to read them. So I have to go back, and we literally have to type them up or send them to a scanner and convert it over to text for me to be able to print it out. But what we've been noticing, since a lot of y'all be spelling wrong or y'all handwrite, y'all do English and then mix up cursive, when we try to convert the letter over to text, it's all out of whack. And when I read it out loud, it don't even sound right. So if y'all could y'all just send me a voice to text and then print it out, fold it up, put it in the letter and send it to me other than writing it, handwriting it. I appreciate y'all for that type of energy. It's something magical and it's something very, very spiritual about having an actual pen and writing on a piece of paper. The only problem is I really don't be understanding y'all handwriting, so I can't really read it. Some of y'all, it'd be pretty clear, but most of y'all, Y'all, it's like it's y'all own language. So yeah, type them up and send them. And it saved me a bunch of work. I ain't got to convert them, send them through my own text. You know what I'm saying? It saved me a whole lot. All right, so let's get it. So this is from a young lady named Rashida Cole. Rashida Cole is out of Tallahassee, Florida. She got a lot going on. I think this is gonna be very, very good for the people though. It says, "Dear Dr. Yahki, my name is Rashida Cole, and I'm writing you from Tallahassee, Florida." And I was just talking to Nabi. I was saying Tallahassee uh, been reaching out to us a whole lot, y'all. I mean, a whole lot. So, and shouts out to my Hebrews in Tallahassee. Straight up. Shouts out to my Hebrews. And Shalom Lakah, Mishpachati. It says, "My name is Rashida Cole, and I'm writing from Tallahassee because I need real guidance and I'm scared about what's happening with my health. I know you stay busy and booked, facts, but I'm reaching out anyway because I don't want fear or pressure from doctors to be the thing that decides my future. So I'm already glad, Rashida, that you already even thinking like this. You are already changing your perspective, which will change your reality in the way that you look at health, in the way that you look at healing, just by saying that you don't want fear or pressure from the doctors to be the thing that decides your future, because you decide your future and you decide what happened to your biology by your way of belief. So I'm glad you're saying that. I am 32 years old. I currently weigh 280 pounds and I used to weigh 350 pounds. After being introduced to your teachings by a college friend, I lost 70 pounds in 9 months. You hear that, Nabi?
Yes, sir.
She lost 70 pounds in 9 months. I'm going to give you a round of applause today. That's powerful. All praise. 70 pounds in 9 months. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
So we already know, though, before I even get all the way through your letter, I want y'all to write this down in y'all notes. She was 350 pounds and she lost 70 pounds and went down to 280 in 9 months. That means she had a hell of toxins being released from them adipose visceral fat cells. So we already know a lot of stuff that we read is going to be a blowback of toxicity from her losing that waist. Because when she lost the waist, she lost the weight. And we have to understand that adipose tissue and visceral fat, they act as basically a container mechanism that holds in a bunch of hormones and a bunch of cytotoxins and a bunch of toxicity itself, especially heavy metal toxicity. So if you lose that much weight and you lose it within that 9 month time frame, and then you've been listening to me, meaning you've been working out, you've been eating right, you've been changing your environments, you've been changing the people around you, and you starting to detox and you taking my herbs. I don't know if she took my herbs or not, but you're going to be releasing a bunch of these fat cells. And when these fat cells start releasing themselves, as you metabolize and burn them off and breathe them out, because you breathe out, I know it sounds crazy, but you exhale a lot of that fat too. They break open. When they break open, all of the cytotoxins that they were holding on to actually get released back into the tissues, back into the bloodstream. So we know that you are very toxic right now, even though you're losing the weight, because you have to lose the waste with it. And a lot of it get recaught back up in the lymphatic system and into the circulatory system. So write that down, y'all. But I'm super proud of you, though. You lost 70 pounds. It says, I lost 70 pounds in about 9 months. I'm grateful for the progress because it showed me my body can respond when I stay disciplined and consistent. Facts. But even with the weight loss, my biggest issues haven't improved in the way I hope. And it feels like everything is just piling up at once. My current health issues is I have 4 large uterine fibroids. I was previously told I had PCOS, and now the fibroids have grown very large. And I look so big. They look so big that I look pregnant, and it affects me in every single way. It's like the cysts have migrated into one big mass. I'm gonna tell you right now that if you were suffering from polycystic ovarian syndrome, they don't migrate into fibroids. So when you look at polycystic ovarian syndrome, these are usually cysts that grows on the ovary, and these cysts are full of fluids and lipids, and inside these lipids are hormones, because if you look at lipids and if you look at cholesterol, that's actually what carry your hormones around through your body. When you look at a fibroid is made with a myoma, and it's called leiomyoma. That's what actual fibroids cause, and this is the uterine lining muscle tissue usually thickening up. Now the thing about both of them is, even though one start from what you would call a corpus luteum, we'll talk about that first. So when you're looking at PCOS, or what you'll call polycystic ovarian syndrome, every single month a woman gets something called a cyst on her ovary. This cyst is called the corpus luteum. And what the corpus luteum is there for is to literally stimulate estrogen, pregnenolone, and progesterone. And when you get this corpus luteum right before, well, basically around the time you're supposed to get pregnant, this is when you get this cyst. If you get ejaculated in by a man that's fertile, what happened is that corpus luteum starts this literally conception phase. But if you don't get ejaculated in, and if you don't conceive during that period, what happens is progesterone releases itself through the actual cholesterol. Cholesterol travels to that corpus luteum, and then it seal it off and it pops off, and then you have something called a menstrual cycle or a period, and then you shed the endometrium lining of your cervix, and you literally break down that corpus luteum cyst, and you shed it out by bleeding every month, unless you get pregnant. The issue is this. The issue is if you can't get rid of estrogen because pregnenolone and progesterone is not coming through because you eating too many estrogen forming foods, you eating phytoestrogen that come from plant food like soybeans, tempeh, you have an estrogen like hormone chemistry in your body like microplastics, you got too many fat and adipose tissues, which is a storage for estrogen. You eating milk and dairy. We know milk and dairy is the lymphatics of animals, which is a part of their sexual chemistry. This is the way that they feed their baby calves. This full of estrogen. You start certain perfumes and things can proliferate estrogen when you start getting into like hygienic stuff. So if you bringing in a bunch of stuff that is mimicking estrogen-like hormones, or you just literally eating excessive estrogen from eating chicken because they are full of what you will call sexual steroids, which is estrogen, and make them grow faster. For you can eat them, and you can make Popeye's chicken billionaires, Church's chicken billionaires, KFC chicken billionaires. So you going around eating all of this meat and all of these dairy products and all of these estrogen-like hormones. And last but not least, we have to talk about the parasites, especially schistosoma, which I talk about all the time. When they're going through their egg or larva migration period, they produce a bunch of estrogen-like hormones too, because that's a part of their sexual chemistry. What happens is every month when you're supposed to conceive and you ready to have a baby, when that corpus luteum form on that ovary, if you don't get ejaculated in, if you're not having sex around that period when you're very fertile, if estrogen stay high because you're taking in all of these things that's mimicking estrogen, or you literally eating phytoestrogen from certain plants and fruits and vegetables, or you eating literal estrogen from other animals through either consuming their flesh or dairy products, then pregnenolone and progesterone won't come in and break off that corpus luteum for you can shed it through the endometrium lining of your cervix through your period. So what happened is that corpus luteum will stay there until next month. So next month when you ovulating, guess what's going to happen? Another cyst will pop up, right? And then let's say you just never change your diet, you never change your environment, you never change the estrogen-like hormones, you never change the microplastics where you get it from, whether you drinking it from a bottled water or you drinking it from contaminated water, right? Or you getting these plastics and textiles from your clothing because your clothing is made from oil and plastic base, right? When you talk about polyester and you talk about nylon and all these things, you never change your environment, you never change the things in your environment. So next month, another corpus luteum form, this cyst form again, but you never shedded the first cyst. Now 3 months, 90 days in, you still never change your diet. You still never change your diet. So now another corpus luteum cyst form. Once it goes up to 3, because remember, 1 is just singular. 2 is few. What is 3? Nabi? Poly. 3 is poly. So now we have polycystic ovarian syndrome because the cyst is many and it's sitting on the ovary, and what's proliferating it is estrogen or estrogen-like chemistry. You see that? Now, the same thing actually happened to fibroids, but fibroids is in a different way because remember, when you get a cyst is usually on the ovary or is on the wall. When we're talking about a fibroid or myoma, this is literally coming from the uterine wall, thickening up and then forming these masses. But guess what grows these again? Estrogen-like chemistry. Low pregnenolone and low progesterone. See that? But very high estrogen or estrogen mimicking like hormones. And guess what have the number one estrogen mimicking like hormone inside the body? Bar none. Parasites. So automatically for both of them, look for parasites. In my book, when we start going deep into cancer and we go into mass and we go into cysts, I show pictures, y'all. In the book, I actually show pictures of these cysts and of these tumors, and they dissected them. And when they went inside of it, they seen larva eggs, calcified larva eggs that come from parasites, and they seen roundworms in them, rolled up into circles, showing you that 99% of these cysts and 99% of these masses, 99% of these fibroids, 99% of these tumors have become caves or become housing for parasitics. Am I saying that the parasitics made those tumors and made those fibroids and made those cysts? No, I'm not. In some rare cases, yes, they do. But the parasites do love them as a home. And if your body is inhabiting these type of cysts, that means you're acidic anyway, and your hormones are off balance anyway, and you have an acidity blowback in the body, so the parasite gonna be there anyway. So they just gonna use it as a house to truly house themselves in and to make a nest out of, to put their larvae in. That way they can secure their larva. And then after they secure their larva, what happens is the immune system, or the innate immune system, will go and harden that area off with calcium, and it literally becomes a bunker for parasites. And that's why it's so hard to get rid of parasites. So 9 times out of 10 is parasitic driven, and it is your actual living stage. You either eating, like I said, we're going to run through these again and we're going to keep going. Phytoestrogen, please write this down, family. Phytoestrogen chemistry, phytoestrogen. And that come from soybeans, that come from tempeh, it comes from coconut water. Yes, you can get it from coconut flesh. Phytoestrogen. All right. Then you have literally animal-based estrogen that comes from milk, which is basically the lymphatics of another animal, dairy products, cheese. Then you can get it from their tissue just by consuming their flesh, whether you cook it or not, family. You're not killing the estrogen-like chemistry and hormones from the meat. It is still in there. You see that? And then you can get it from microplastics, whether it's from a bottle, whether it's from a towel, whether it's from your clothes, polyester. All these things have microplastics in it. And most of your panties and bras, women, have microplastics all stitched throughout it. So you can even be getting it from that. And you can get estrogen mimicking like hormones from your actual perfumes and your hygienes and your lotions and the things that you rub in your hair and your lip gloss and all of these things that you put in your body that you call beauty. You can get it from that as well. So you're going to see, once you start eliminating everything I said, before I even talk about herbs, things are going to start shrinking in your body, and then these cysts start numbering down to 1 again, and then they completely, disintegrate, and then these big fibroids start shrinking. All right, let's keep going. So it says she got 4 large uterine fibroids. I was previously told I had PCOS. Now the fibroids have grown very large. They're so big that I look pregnant, and it affects me every single day. All right. Then she got high cholesterol and high triglycerides. Y'all know how I feel about cholesterol. I also got another part of the book called The Cholesterol Myth. It's an amazing part of the book. I'm so happy that this book is finally done and being printed, y'all. Y'all don't understand, boy. 820 pages, family. But she's talking about cholesterol. High cholesterol is not a bad thing. It depends on how high the triglycerides is and the LDL. The low density lipoprotein, how high that is. And I really don't say there's really no such thing as bad cholesterol, period. Now, high triglycerides is crazy. But when you look at LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, it's kind of like you being on a highway, right? You being on a highway, and then you have 80 people, and okay, let's do it like this. Say I'm on a highway, and there's 4 other people on the highway with me, but we all got 10 people in our vehicle. Is that likely to cause a traffic jam, other than there is 10 people in each car and they all got their own car on the highway? That's likely to cause a traffic jam. So if we think about it like this, I'm just going to use these for example. I got 4 cholesterol. These are my total cholesterols, right? HDL. We all on the highway. We all got our same lane. We all in different lanes driving on the highway. None of us is crossing over. We just going on the highway. We in the blood, or what you'll call the transportation system, on the highway going to point A to point B. That will not cause a traffic jam. But if there is 20 people in each car, and these 20 people all had their own car, right? which is LDL. Now it's a bunch of cars on the highway. Now, since it's a bunch of cars on the highway, which is LDL, this is more likely to cause a traffic jam, or what you would call a blocked artery. See that? And that's the reason why they call LDL bad cholesterol, because LDL don't represent the car. LDL represents the people that got their own car. HDL just represents the car itself. So if I got 4 cars on a highway and it's a 4-lane highway, we cool. There is no traffic jam. There will not be no rush hour traffic. But if I got LDL, which is 10 people inside these 4 cars, and all the 10 people inside these 4 cars, which now make 40 people, they say, oh, I want my own damn car, right? Now there's 40 cars in these lanes. Now traffic gonna begin to slow up. And that's the difference on how you think about it. And then triglycerides be the luggage that you put inside the trunk, be the luggage that you put inside of the, it's all the luggage that you pack inside the trunk. If you start looking at it from a highway perspective, and you start looking at it from how many people is attending and ride in the cars, right? LDL. And if you look at the actual car itself, HDL, then you look at all the baggage and the accumulation that's going to be in the car, which is triglycerides. All you have to do is figure out, okay, how many cars we got. We need to limit the cars. I can pack all the people I want in the car. Who do that? The Spanish. Spanish do it. Latinos all the time. You have one van. It'd be 20 of them in one van. One van. Now imagine 20 of them with their own cars. Imagine 20 vans and all of them got their own cars. Now we got a traffic jam. So we just got to think about it simplistically like that, and that's how you free it up. There is nothing wrong with high cholesterol. My cholesterol right now is probably in the 200s. I got high cholesterol, and I'm very healthy. And this shows you too, if you look at the actual statistics, high cholesterol, the higher your cholesterol is, and I'm not talking about triglycerides, I'm talking about your total cholesterol count, the less likely it is for you to get cancer. The lower your cholesterol is, statistically it shows that you are more vulnerable to cancer. So what do that mean? And then people with the highest cholesterol, statistically on paper, peer reviewed science, live actually longer. So I wouldn't really worry about the high cholesterol. Now I will be worried about these triglycerides. Because remember, this is the baggage that you put in the car. Imagine you trying to get in the car, and then you got so much trash and you got so much baggage in the car that it get under the damn driving pedal, and you can't push your brakes, or you can't speed, you can't slow down your driving. Now you hit a crash, and then boom. And that's how triglycerides work. And then triglycerides build up fatty adipose tissues on the liver at all times. And that's the way I can tell if you got fatty liver disease or you going into liver cirrhosis, is about how high your LDLs and how high your triglycerides is in the first place. If y'all got that analogy good, please tell me. Did I do that analogy good?
Yeah, you did good. I got a few people talking about the coconut water and your fighter.
Right. What about it? Coconut water is good. I'm talking about a woman that had polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Right.
That's all I'm talking about. Because if you look at a coconut, if you look at the whole coconut, and you look at the water, and you look at the flesh of the coconut, it do have estrogen chemistry in it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just showing you all sources where it come from. I'm not saying that if you a healthy woman and you don't, and if you ain't got polycystic ovarian syndrome, to don't drink coconut water. Coconut water is by far one of the most structured water molecules and hydrated water molecules that I know of. Coconut water is amazing for the people. So please don't get what I said wrong at all. Drink you some coconut water. I'm talking about a woman that had fibroids and had polycystic ovarian syndrome, which means she had many cysts on there that could be a source of estrogen, a phytoestrogen coming in from the coconut water that will proliferate her cysts that she already got. But if you're not dealing with that, drink coconut water. I drink coconut water every single day of my life. My children, my boys drink nothing but coconut water. Literally, they probably drink regular water. How many times a day?
Not every day.
Not even every day. Every few days. Yeah, other than that, their main source of H3O2 of hydration is strictly from coconut water. So I'm not shaming coconut water. I'm not blaming coconut water at all. Drink you some coconut water. We specifically talking about her case, and every case is different, family. Every case is different. So don't take this case like it applies to every biology or like it applies to you if you're not dealing with what she's going through. But as we read through her case, if you are going through this, women, make sure that you do cut back on your coconut water. Cut back on your avocados, which is full of estrogen. Cut back on your flava beans. Cut back on your soybeans. Cut back on your tempeh. Cut back on any estrogen mimicking chemistry or cut back on foods that have a lot of phytoestrogen into it, and definitely get off of all meats and off of all dairies immediately. And then you will see within 30 days you feeling a lot better, and you will see these cysts go away. You see the fibroids actually shrink themselves, but you have to do a parasitic cleanse as well, because I'm pretty sure once you make that house and once you make that cave, the best squatters in biology is by far parasites. You talking about a Negro squatting in your house, boy, make a house inside your body, make biological mass tissues inside your body, and see if a parasite will be there the next day. You be like, where did it come from? Or it came out of the tissues and came out of an organ and go house there, because they like birds. They like to build nests and stick their eggs inside of it. That's all. All right. So that's about the high cholesterol and high triglycerides. Thank you for that, Nabi. Hemoglobin. Her hemoglobin A1C is at 8.5. We know that hemoglobin is supposed to be at 5.6. So she's high glucose, and she got high glucose. Her high glucose is always over 100. So if you have an A1C of 8.5, that's your resting hemoglobin or your resting glucose. And then your regular glucose is always over 100. You is diabetic. Plus that triglycerides, I'm telling you off back that I'm pretty sure that your liver is fatty. So we have to go after that liver. The best thing you can do for fatty liver is go on what you would call a plant-based ketogenic diet. Plant-based ketogenic diet. With yours is going to be a little different, because when you go on a plant-based ketogenic diet, even though you're cutting out all the meat, you are still enhancing your fat consumption from the actual plant kingdom. And all of these plant kingdoms, we talking about ovaries, and we talking about, we talking about the ovaries of plants and things like that. And what's housed in them is estrogen. So I'm gonna have to create you a plan itself. That way you are escaping the ovary blowback from the actual, you are escaping the ovary estrogen blowback from the phytoestrogens inside of the plants, because you are intaking higher fats. And remember, your sexual chemistry or your sexual hormones, they can go in the blood, but they are transferred throughout the body by way of the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is made of lymphatic fluid. This lymphatic fluid was created from blood plasma. This blood plasma is literally a transport of what you would call lipids. It's oil-based. And that's the reason why cholesterol literally creates pregnenolone, progesterone, testosterone, estrogen, and all of these other sexual hormones. That's what you need cholesterol for. And that's the reason why people with low vitamin D, they often go infertile, where they can't make babies, because their vitamin D is so low. But in order to create cholesterol, you need vitamin D, and vitamin D is not a vitamin. It's actually a hormone that's synthesized by the sun in melanin. So once you really start getting into the conversion of vitamin D, cholesterol, calcium, and then you start seeing the sexual chemistry and hormones come from it, you're going to start seeing how essential true, real sunlight really is, y'all. All right. So, and look, check this out, Nabi. Fatty liver disease and liver cirrhosis. So she already got liver cirrhosis.
Okay.
So she got, all right, so she got polycystic ovarian syndrome. She got 4 big fibroids that says she looked like she's pregnant. She got high cholesterol, high triglycerides. She also have hemoglobin A1C at 8.5. Her high glucose is always over 100, fatty liver. She got fatty liver and cirrhosis of the liver, meaning she didn't get rid of the fatty liver issue. So those fatty liver issues kept reoccurring, and it created scarring on the liver. And I'm pretty sure that you have some liver flukes inside the liver that's chewing away at your liver tissues. And then she have HSV1 and HSV2. I wish you to put your numbers in here, Rashida. That way I can see how high your IgG numbers are. Which is a parasite anyway. We already know that when we're dealing with HSV1 or HSV2, we're dealing with the Ascaris parasite, or we're dealing with Fasciola, what they call Fasciolopsis boyski. We know we're dealing with that. And what Fasciola and what Ascaria do is they literally proliferate. They live their life cycle and then they die. And when they die, they go through something called parasitic lysis. Parasitic lysis is when they explode inside of the system. And when they explode inside of the system, they literally projectile all of their DNA fragments and proteins inside of our biological entities. And then this hijack our other biological entities. And then it creates this envelope protein coat around it. And it protects itself out through the nervous system. Whether we talking about the tailbone, the sacral bone, the ganglia nerve at the back, or throughout your spinal column. And then it lives throughout your nerves throughout the rest of your life. And that's why if you kill the parasite, and you start eating right and you increase your L-lysine, which your sodium monolauric acid, and we didn't seen this alone. When people increase L-lysine by 1,000 milligrams a day, and then they do about 250 milligrams of what you would call sodium monolauric acid, and they mix those together and they do a parasite cleanse, people tested negative within what, 2 to 3 months, Nabi? Right. I mean, every single rip, just by doing that alone. Then you add that geogenetic therapeutic package with it, it's gone. It's gone. And for people to keep saying that it's a virus, I understand your ideology on why you calling it a virus. Me, I don't believe in viruses, but I get why you calling it a virus. I get the allopathic community. I get the John D. Rockefeller Educational Foundation and how they programmed it in you. But when you like me in a laboratory looking at these things under a microscope at all times of the day, that's what I do, is what I live to do, is what I love to do. You start seeing a lot of these things are parasitic driven, and a lot of these so-called viruses are due to cytosomes and exosomes that's inside of your own body, and parasites that's inside your body, or even different microbacteria that's inside your body. They have their own DNA. They have their own RNA. They have their own mRNA. Just like parasites have their own DNA. Parasites have their own RNA. Parasites have their own mRNA. So if they DNA gets into your system, and it goes through something called lysis where it explodes and then they stuff start degrading down, the body's going to look at it like a foreign invader. And then boom, you get all these symptomologies. You get fever, you get inflammation, you start sneezing, you get rhinorrhea, you get diarrhea. Then you go to the doctor say, well, you have a viral load because you're IgG. They're not checking the parasite. They're not checking the bacteria. They are checking your immunological response. And based off of the immunological response in the antibodies, then they give you a diagnosis of a virus. We got to get that straight. But what is the root cause? Where is it truly coming from? And most of the time, it's coming from pleomorphic bacteria, or it's coming from parasitics that either came from within inside of the biological tissue or come from your pets, or people that's around you. But we can't act like that these things are, you know what I'm saying? No, a lot of these things are naturally occurring. And when these things die, they break down and decompose. Now you have another entity, fragmented DNA, broken down protein envelope and RNA inside of your system. Technically, y'all, that is a virus. If y'all got that, type in some nines. And it just shows you how to clean these things up. Go in the body, cleanse the blood. Make sure that your lymphatic system is moving. Get your kidneys and your adrenals online. That way you can get rid of metabolic toxic waste and build up. Make sure that you're getting sunlight. That way you can truly, truly balance out your hormones. Make sure you open it up your tissues. Make sure that you're cleansing the lymphatic system, jump roping, trampolining, rebounding. Make sure that your kidneys and your adrenals are aligned by way of parsley, juniper berries. You see that? Astragalus root. Open up those kidneys. Poke root will pull and tug on anything that's inside of the system. I call them tumor busters. There's so many things that you can do. Getting rid of contaminated water. Use a water filter. Go to naturalspring.org and find a natural spring that's close to you. Bring some glass jugs and go fill up your water. Get a membership and you can go find a spring near you to start drinking clean, fresh water with natural minerals in it. Get some fruits and vegetables that's organically grown. Make sure that you're only using 100% organic cotton, organic hemp, linen, wool, and wear these clothing. Make sure that if you want to have light on at nighttime, that it is dimmed, red light, not blue light. Get away from the synthetic lighting. Make sure that you're sleeping at the right times of day. Make sure that you're getting 4-8 hours of rest. That way the body can go through a stage of autophagy. And you can literally open up your detoxification pathways. You can kick on methionine and glutathione. That way you can detox the liver. You can open up the bowel ducts and get bilirubin and biliverdin to work together to create bowel. And bowel then go throughout the system and naturally detoxify the body. All I'm telling you to do is go back to the beginning, when there wasn't all of these technologies, and all of these technologies creating all of these other technologies that create the things that we live our life by that's killing us. Go back. Healing is very, very simplistic. Me and you need to understand that because people are making it hard. It's very, very simplistic, family, I promise you. All right. And look, check this out, Nabi. High eosinophils. Whenever your eosinophils are high, that's automatic parasites. I wonder if you gave me the text. And then her Her coronary artery calcium test is high as well. Her CAC test, meaning she have high calcium. So you have high calcium inside of the artery walls, right? And you have high triglycerides along, and you have high HDL, LDL, and HDL. That is blocked arteries waiting to happen. Waiting to happen. I'm so glad you lost that 70 pounds, Queen. Straight up, God, you lost that 70 pounds. You probably saved. You done saved your life. You done bought some more time and some more days here on Earth. Now you can do a detox properly from the detoxification manual I'm finna give you, and you gonna live a long life. You are. All right. It says, I am afraid, and while I'm writing, my surgeons is recommending surgery because they say fibroids. They say the fibroids have created many blood vessels. This is what you would call angiogenesis. Write this down, family. Angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is when any mass or tumor or cyst inside the body start creating their own blood supply. And what worries me about that is they do that so they can go through something called tumor genesis or fibroid genesis, to borrow oxygen and to borrow lactic acid and to borrow iron, because they need iron, a part of their cellular proliferation, because iron acts as a proliferator and an oxidator as well. It will isolate the environment for whatever inside that environment can grow. And I bet you your iron and your hemoglobin is very low, and it's probably because of those fibroids or literally borrowing all of their iron and those cysts to grow. And as soon as it gets to the fibroid or cyst, you got those damn parasites inside of you eating the iron anyway, because that is their main food source. They love iron, they love magnesium, they love calcium, they love your minerals. That's what they chew on, that's what they eat on, because they use that to make their egg and their larva shell around them. You got a lot going on. Listen, my surgeon is recommending surgery because they said the fibroids have created many small vessels, and they are warning me about major blood loss. That genuinely scares me. I don't want to rush into surgery if there is a real natural path to shrink fibroids and correct what is feeding them. Yes, what's feeding them is the angiogenesis, and also what's feeding the fibroids is the parasites. The parasites love a nasty home, and they keep it nasty for a reason, for they can stay in them. So you automatically gonna have to do a parasite cleanse. So everybody that's for your clients, put parasite cleanse, and I write it down with y'all. She's automatically gonna have to do a parasite cleanse. And the reason why is because 9 times out of 10 there are parasites and larvae in their migration period that's stuck inside of those cysts and that are living inside of those fibroids. All right. Also, remember, she's going to have to get off of all phyto, estrogen food. These are things like soybeans. If you eat those, you didn't tell me. These are things like tempeh. If you eat those, you didn't tell me that either. These are things like flax. Flax got a bunch of it. Flax seeds got a bunch of estrogen in it. So make sure you're not doing flaxseed or flax oil. In your particular case, we're going to say coconut flesh and coconut water. Write this down, y'all. Put them in the comments too. Also, all meat, especially chicken, because they give them synthetic estrogen through what you call sexual growth hormones. All milk and dairy, because that's the lymphatic system of a cow or the lymphatic system of a goat. All plastic, period, because all plastic is what you will call a mimicking of estrogen. They call it estrogen-like molecules. And write that down. Plastic equals estrogen-like molecules. All plastic. Because plastic equals estrogen, ELM, estrogen-like molecules. And you need sunlight, sunlight, sunlight. I hope y'all writing this. Okay? It says, I watched the testimony of a young black woman who shared that she healed from cervical cancer at your detoxification home. And it gave me hope. I remember her. Dang, you remember that beautiful woman?
Yeah.
Her mom, and her husband. Remember them? They came when me and Kobe had that detox home down in Florissant before they shut it down.
Oh, okay.
And she had that cervical cancer. I remember her. I need to reach out to them. I gotta find her name. I can't remember her. I also watch your fibroid video on Yahki TV, but there isn't any more. So I'm writing you directly. Okay. All right. So she got her lipid panel in here. Below are my results, and I have them listed from my report. So her lipid panel, y'all. So if you look at her total cholesterol, your total cholesterol is supposed to be 200 and low. Hers is at a 325. I'm not worried about a 325. I'm not going to even lie to you. I'm not. Now, what I am worried about is your triglycerides. Your triglycerides are supposed to be at a 150 mg/dl, but yours is at a 326. That is very, very high. And then when you look at her HDL is at a 200. That ain't bad. But her LDL is supposed to be below 100, and hers is at a 170. And her non-LDL is at a 180, and it's supposed to be 130. So you definitely got some fatty liver going on, without a shadow of a doubt. And looking at your CAC, your coronary artery calcium test, your score is a 4. It's supposed to be 0. This is a heart attack waiting to happen, goddess. I'm not going to even lie to you, and I'm not trying to scare you. They're going to be talking about putting stents in you, because when you see numbers like this, they usually say you are like 80 to 90% blocked in the arteries, and they try to put stents in you. This is 4 times higher than what it's supposed to be. You don't want that many triglycerides, mucus, calcium, and then acidity in the body at one time, because you will calcify and solidify. And that will cause a bunch of scarring too. A bunch of scarring. Her hemoglobin A1C supposed to be at a 5.6. This one says, look, they didn't went up. This one says typically normal at a 5.7. It used to be a 5.6. Hers is an 8.5. Her fasting glucose is always above 99. But it says her results at this time was 170. See? So you are diabetic, right? And then now you got to ask yourself too, because you got liver cirrhosis, and we have to start, and you do got herpes. How long have you had herpes? Because these herpes can be causing these other mimicries, because you got multiple sclerosis. Did y'all know that multiple sclerosis, herpes can cause this multiple sclerosis mimicry? And I want to show y'all that real quick. Check this out. Alzheimer's disease, dementia. It's so many things that if you don't get rid of the herpes, or you don't at least keep it calmed down, that you will get other diseases. And in fact, herpes can get inside the liver and cause cirrhosis of the liver, y'all. Herpes will get inside the hepatic duct and will cause scarring there, will cause lesions there, and cause the liver to become very, very scarred up and give you liver cirrhosis. Let's type that in first. Check this out. Herpes in the liver causing. Yes, you can get herpes inside of the organs a lot. Causing liver cirrhosis. That's still cirrhosis, right? Check this out, y'all. All right, I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. Watch this. Let me know if you're sharing, now, B.
Okay. I'm about a minute behind you.
Okay. Look, check this out. Acute liver failure due to herpes simplex virus. Acute liver failure due to herpes simplex virus. Now check this out. A wide variety of etiologies can cause acute liver failure. However,
You good?
Okay. Look, it says, however, the incidence is unknown and are regionally different. But look, this shows you, if you read this, how herpes can induce viral cirrhosis. Y'all, look at this. It says both herpes simplex virus, HSV1 and HSV2, have been documented despite a high, seroprevalence, I think I said that right, in general populations. ALF is a rare complication of HSV. ALF has been described mostly in neonates, immunosuppressive patients, and pregnant women with poor outcomes. So as we look in, literally, herpes can give you what you would call cirrhosis of the liver. Now look, it don't only give you that, y'all. it can actually, herpes have a bunch of mimicry diseases, and this is the reason why we advocate on cleansing yourself of this parasitic Ascaris, cleanse yourself of this parasitic Fasciola and Fasciolopsis boyski in their DNA, in their cellular lysis, in their projectile of their RNA that they spew in your body. Because the longer it goes untreated, you get memory loss, you can get dementia, you can get Alzheimer's disease, you can get multiple sclerosis, you can get cirrhosis of the liver, kidney failure, because they start migrating from the spinal column. And I'm not pushing fear on y'all. I hope y'all not thinking I'm coming from a place of fear factor to sell a product, because I promise you I'm not. I'm just showing you how many years. And what made me notice this is a bunch of elder people that come to us, because we got a very, very large elderly community, and we do a lot of free stuff for us. Nabi is a witness. If we give a percentage of how many elderly people come in my clinic and get stuff for free, what would you say?
I've been a third of them.
I'm telling you,
I have.
every 3 to 4 people that I see that's over the age of 60, 70, they always get free services from me, because I just love them so much. And the same thing with a lot of children. We give away a bunch of stuff for free. We just now finally documenting this stuff, how much we give away for free, because we starting our own foundation. But I'm saying this to say this: whenever they tell me they have multiple sclerosis, or they got dementia, or they got Alzheimer's disease or Alzheimer's disease, and I ask them what is they amyloid plaque buildup, what is they score, or their calcium scores, it's always low. And then the moment I check their blood and I see these specific type of little worms, I said, oh, so you got herpes? They say, yeah, I done had it for 40 years. Oh, so you got herpes? Yeah, I done had it for 50 years. Or you got herpes? Oh, I had chicken pox when I was 4. So it went untreated for that long, and now you have these herpes mimicry diseases like multiple sclerosis. Look, check, just to show y'all. Look this stuff up. I am not playing. Watch this. I'm just gonna type in herpes mimicry disease list. I think I need to do a whole lecture on this, huh, Nabi?
Yes, sir. Make sure we don't see children under 12.
Oh yeah, we don't see right. We don't see children. We don't see children no more. Period.
Period. Right.
We don't see children no period, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the FBI kicking in my door, so we don't see children. But we have given a lot of stuff away for free for children, because we love children.
Right.
I'm glad you said that. Looking for a reason to come.
Yeah. One day already cussed me out. Yes, sir.
All right, check this out. Look, y'all. Let me share my screen real quick. What that says. It says herpes virus infections. Now look, particularly EBV infections, which is talking about the Epstein-Barr virus. It says have been implicated in several major autoimmune diseases, including systematic lupus. You see that? I mean, systemic lupus, SLE, and also multiple sclerosis and rheumatoid arthritis, y'all. So a lot of y'all are having autoimmune diseases, and it ain't nothing but herpes that you done had in the system so long. This thing that woke up from its dormancy. You not getting the sores and the canker sores and the open lesions from them. So you thinking you cool, but you having all of these other autoimmune symptomologies, and the whole time it's herpes the whole time. The whole entire time. The worst thing you can do is just not fight herpes. Just give up on it, because it causes so many long-term issues, y'all, that you've been labeling other stuff, and the whole time it was what they call a mimicry. I'm going to go on the record and say for myself and from my own study that it actually causes these other symptomologies. But since they need to keep the disease separate, because it all brings in a separate monetary gain, they want to say it mimics. So herpes, long-term herpes can mimic Alzheimer's. Long-term herpes can mimic dementia. Long-term herpes can mimic cirrhosis of the liver. Long-term herpes can mimic lupus. Long-term herpes can mimic memory loss. Long-term herpes can mimic, all these other rheumatoid arthritis. But it actually is fueling and causing that because of the buildup of not only the antibodies that build up or the immunological response that it causes, but the herpes worm and all of the different chemistry and all of the different waste byproducts that is put in the body and how much it damaged the nervous system, y'all. And then you got to remember, before 1970, and it might be a little early, 1960, I got to check my Merck's manual, herpes and syphilis and any immune suppressant was all named under one disease. Do y'all know that, right? And then after 1970, they broke them up and started calling them different diseases. But all of them was named under one immunosuppressant disease. It's in the Merck manual. I got the first Merck manual. I got it up here somewhere. And if we read the definition, all the symptomologies of them was merged as one. And then you get to the 1980s when they released the hepatitis B vaccination, and then you see all these HIV cases spring up right around that same time. Conspiracy theory. Then you start seeing all the names in the Merck manual, volume 2, 3, and on out, start changes and recategorizing symptomologies and putting them under different stuff. But at one time, Nabi, all of them was under the same name. All the symptomologies. What do that mean? What do that mean? If you can, you can pull the Merck manual for me. It's called Merck's manual. It's an old book, boy. The page ripping off. It's a little red book. All right. Whew. All right, she got a lot going on. Okay. So her hemoglobin 5.6. Is at 8.5. Her fasting glucose is at 100. Right now it's at a 170. So she's definitely in glycation mode. Remember, I teach y'all, you don't never, boy, not be good. Look at not be. Now he done found it quick. I don't think this the one though. The other one I'm talking about beat. Okay. Yeah, it's red and it's beat up. It's red and it's beat up, boy. Boy, look, it talks about neurological disorder. There you go, right there. Nope, this is a brown. Yeah, it's a brown. It's a red. It's a red. Look, let's see if they got it in here though. Let's just go to immune suppressant real quick. Y'all got to see. My library is so extensive, y'all. Y'all got to come see my library. I'm gonna stay on there while you find it. Let me stay on topic while you find it. Right. Forgive me, y'all.
Dang, it's another one, but it's red. It's big.
Is that the big red?
Yeah.
That might be. That's it. That gotta be it.
It ain't beat up. Well, you might call it beat up.
Is this the one? I gotta see the addition.
No, that's medical.
No, that's the medical. Yeah, this is microbiology. This how I learned. This truly taught me how to look at stealth pathologies under a microscope. This book right here. That ain't it. All right, let's go through these. All right, so her eosinophils. Her eosinophils supposed to be between 0.05, hers 0.0 and 0.5, hers at a 3.0, flag high. We know that you got parasites. Her absolute eosinophils is high as well. Her alpha fetoprotein levels is high. Her APF. And this is a sign of cancer. They need to check that yours is at a 12. They need to check. You need to get you a female metabolic cancer panel, goddess. I would get you a cancer panel, because usually when we see this high with everything else, is that it?
I don't think so. It ain't beat up, but you got a bunch of them jokers.
Yeah, I got all the Merck. This is the world's most widely used one. No, this ain't it. We'll find it.
Okay. And
I do a separate live on it because it's beat up. All right, so our AFP, or alpha fetoprotein, is high. It says, what I am asking for step by step. I am asking you plainly for guidance because I don't want to keep guessing. Is it possible to shrink fibroids naturally? Yes, it is. Now, if yours is big as you say that it is, that means they as big as a watermelon or what you would call a grapefruit. Sometimes you do have to get those surgically removed. But I say anytime before you do that, always take the natural path. See how the natural path treats you. If the natural path treats you good, good. If not, then we will use the allopathic community for surgeries. I'm not against that whatsoever because they are very good at surgery. You know what I'm saying? What I don't agree with is I don't agree with the pharmaceuticals and the side effects. But I'm not finna, like I say every time, if something happened to me that's dramatic, I get shot or I break a limb or anything, take me to the nearest hospital, ER, so they can put me back together again because they are good at that. I just don't like the side effects of the medications that they give to the people when God created medicine naturally in your plants and in your fruits and it grows from the ground and that you can take them and you don't have no side effects. You see what I'm saying? The only side effect you're going to get from them is diarrhea. You're going to break out. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be peeing because it's a diuretic in there. You're going to be pooping. You're going to be peeing and you're going to be healing. Instead of, if you take Verithrax, if you stop breathing, don't be saying it. If you stop breathing, if your heart skipped 10 beats, If you feel cardiac arrest, if your penis fall off, call 911 and stop taking the medicine immediately. You be like, hold on, what the hell? I'm just taking this. I'm taking this because my skin was itching. But I gotta get liver cirrhosis for it. My penis fall off. I get itchy problems. My heart stop beating. I'm going to court. The side effects be the craziest thing. And then the voice that they use at the end is always a nice, pleasant voice. Yeah. If you experience liver cirrhosis, diabetes, or anything, stop taking it and talk to your local provider now. People are like, how can you even say that in a calm voice like that? I'm taking this because I got asthma, but this is going to give me asthma and give me suicidal thoughts. Right. Like, what in the hell? It'd be the craziest thing ever. So that's what I don't agree with, family. That part right there. Straight up. All right, y'all. So she need a step-by-step guide. All right, so her first question is, can you shrink fibroids naturally? Yes, I already told you how to do that in the beginning. With my situation, cholesterol, triglycerides, high A1C, and fatty liver cirrhosis, and fibroids, MS and HSV, what should my food structure look like? I'm going to put you on something called a plant-based ketogenic diet, but I'm going to take out certain things from the diet that have high estrogen molecules in it. For one, I'm going to completely take out avocados. I'm going to take out most of your seeds too, and I'm going to take out most of your nuts. I'm going to allow Brazilian nuts to stay in there though, because Brazilian nuts got the selenium, the zinc, the copper, the manganese, and the magnesium. I'm going to keep that in there, and I'm going to put you on 4 to 5 of them a week with everything else from the diet, but I'm going to take away the avocados because avocados are known for estrogen-like hormones and estrogen in them. And most nuts and seeds because they're ovaries of a plant. Let's just keep it real. And inside of those ovaries, you're going to find phytoestrogen because that's what helps grow and proliferate the plant to become a flower or whatever, or a fruit or whatever it's going to become. All right, it says, I got a question about beans and lentils. I love them and I eat them often. I keep hearing they contain lectins and phytates, and that they can hold that they can hold people back from healing. But I also hear you speak on lentils and say that they're your favorite choice. I need your honest view. Should I cut them out completely, limit them, or prepare them in a specific way? All right, so I got a whole video, y'all. About 4 years ago, I taught against beans. You know, I taught very, very, very bad against beans. But the more I started traveling, the more I started teaching and not regurgitating, but I started teaching from clinical trials. I started teaching from traveling and putting people on diets and trying these diets out for myself. Me personally, I still do not eat beans. They're just not good for my digestive system. But there is contradictory there because then I would have to explain the people that live the longest in Okinawa that eats beans every day and they're living over 100. Or people 10,000 years ago that survived off of beans and never had diabetes, never had heart complications, or never had any of these things. And then coming from my biochemistry perspective and mindset, when you look at beans or lentils, and lentils is not a bean, but I'm just talking about beans, period. And even though I don't eat beans, now you get to the point where your regurgitation, you have to challenge yourself to grow, family. I'm trying to say this in the right way, Nabi. I know it sounds kind of unsure. But you have to challenge yourself to grow, and no information is supposed to stay the same. I taught beans was bad because of phytates and because of the lectins, right? But as I get into biochemistry and as I start studying food around the world and people who live the longest in blue zones and how the main consumption of their diet is beans, that starts to become contradictory to what I was regurgitating. So it made me look into beans. And I got deep into beans. And I even tried them out for a while. And I had a bad experience with them. But other people that tried them with me, they had a good experience with them. They full of amino acids. They full of what you would call protein. The phytic acid is not always a bad thing. Yes, they say phytic acid pulls and binds minerals. But if you look at phytic acid, it actually, like in your case, the phytic acid will pull the calcium from your arteries. That's not a bad thing at all. And if you look at phytic acid and the benefits from it, it actually stops you from heart disease by pulling calcium from the arteries. You see what I'm saying? And then you start looking at people that eat beans, you know, And they over there in these blue zones. They over there in Singapore. They over there in Indonesia. They over there in all of these blue zones. They live the longest, and the main consumption of their diet is more beans and legumes and less meat. They only eat about 2 pounds of meat a month. You see that? We eat hundreds of pounds of meat a month. So they have a very, very high carbohydrate diet, right? And they have a very, very low meat eating diet. And they live in the longest, and they're the happiest, and they thriving while they live in the longest. Me coming out of America saying don't eat beans. Beans is bad for you. You see that? Mm-hmm. But it's people on the other side of the world eating the same beans that I say don't eat, because I heard, certain teachers that I used to regurgitate that I came from saying don't eat beans. And I'm spitting the science, but I'm not spitting the clinical trials. I'm spitting the science, but I'm not spitting the daily experience. I'm spitting the science and what's reading in the book, but I'm not applying it to oneself to give you my feedback, or I'm not doing my own mini trials to give you my feedback. And then I finally do all these things, and then the feedback become murky. I gotta come clean. So I'm not saying beans bad no more. This is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say beans are bad for me. But lentils is not a bean, and I love lentils. So when you start talking about phytic acid is not always a bad thing. And I just want to show y'all this. Check this out. Let me just show y'all something. And this just shows you how much of a teacher I am and how much I want y'all to get the information right. I don't mind admitting when I was wrong years ago, and I started doing these things myself, where I come across new information that contradicts the very information that I taught years ago. I'm open to change. I'm open for growth. I want to be one of the most knowledgeable, smartest men on health and biology and anatomy and herbology in the world. You would never get me to the point where I got too much damn ego, where I'm finna be, where I know that I could be wrong. But since I don't want you looking at me wrong, I'm gonna fight nail and teeth to prove what? My ego? And then end up looking stupid in the long run anyway? Right. I would never do that. So I come clean all the time when information presents itself new to me, and I do the clinical trials. Hey, we got to talk about it. I used to go against broccoli all the time. I'm one of the biggest broccoli fans in the world now. I did a whole entire lecture on broccoli 2 years ago, proving all of that bullcrap that everybody been saying about it. It's one of the number one superfoods on the planet. Pull chemotherapy out of the body, high in sulforaphane, high in glucoraphanase. I mean, the sulfur compounds that come from broccoli, especially broccoli sprouts is amazing. Healing people and opening up the NR2 detoxification pathways, cleansing the liver, getting rid of fatty liver disease, pulling chemotherapy out. I mean, chemotherapy is a forever chemical unless you purposely cleanse it from your system. It pulls it out like no other. I'm talking about broccoli is amazing, but the whole time I thought it was GMO hybrid. At that time, I'm spitting that. I didn't even know GMO and genetically modified organism hybrid was two totally different things. So us as teachers who are facilitating and healing and calling ourselves being teacher to the masses, we can never put a limitation on knowledge and learning. Sometimes we will be wrong. That is okay as long as you own up to it and you say, hey, I might have been wrong. So I'm learning to speak from self-experience and get the collective knowledge and then put it out to the people instead of being biased and listening to somebody that I grew up off of, somebody that shared the same skin color as me. So I automatically developed this, because I didn't have a father figure in my life. So I developed this father figure complex. You know what I'm saying? And then looking at somebody like they are my messiah and just automatically just spitting everything they say and not truly collectively checking and cross-examining the information and doing your own experiments and experience from self and then teaching the people. I haven't done that in years. You know what I'm saying? But it brings me to this point. Really studying the blue zones, really studying Indonesia, really studying Okinawa, really studying Singapore, really studying Hawaii, really studying the ancient people that's in the jungles, the jungle life, really studying people that live and thrive the longest, that the main consumption of their diet is beans and rice. What do we do with that information, Nabi? What do you do with that? When you know what I'm saying? When these people are living, heart disease rate is low. Cardiovascular accidents or incidents, should I say, is low. No diabetes in the bloodlines whatsoever. Kidney filtration rate is high. Good kidney filtration rate. And then you start looking at what they're eating. But we in America is teaching it all lectins, phytic acid, lactic acid. We talking about all this bull crap, but the people eating the same thing elsewhere, and they are living longer. So now it comes down to where these things are grown and produced at, which America is, we have no minerals in our soils. All of the soils are stripped of all the minerals. And then, yes, we got these phytates, but we looking at this stuff wrong. We looking at saponins wrong. Like everybody want to talk about saponins inside of quinoa. Saponins is in quinoa for a reason. Why would God create something for you to eat, but it harms you at the same time? No, this harm is the natural detoxification process that's inside of it. And I just want to show y'all this, y'all. I want to show y'all this. I don't care if y'all look at me. Hey, look, I'm going to keep it a buck. I got to. I'm here to learn and teach at the same time. I'm forever a student. I'm forever learning. My information will never be the same. If you catch me spitting the same things for 10 years straight and information involved every year, consciousness expand every year, quit following me. If I'm teaching the same thing from the next decade, quit following me. Because you ain't growing. You're not learning. Information is evolving. It's forever. It's open-ended. It's forever changing in a positive way. I don't want no teacher that says the same, just like I don't want to be around no pastor that's teaching the same. Right. That you got the same sermon every Sunday? Oh, your church going to be empty. Unless you there with a bunch of fake people like you. Straight up. That want to hear the lies. Now check this out, y'all. Watch this. I just want to show y'all. Phytic acid. Pulling calcium. Just want to show y'all this. Now look at this, y'all. I didn't make this up. And this is my first time looking this up. I've been studying it and reading it in books and looking at people and creating my own microbiomes. And look, this is my first time ever doing this, but I want y'all to see this real quick. Look at this, y'all. Check this out. This says, while it is true that phytic acid may bind some minerals, including calcium, that is anti-nutrient in truly anything, but phytic not only enhances your antioxidant defenses and lowers inflammation, but can enhance your bone health and help prevent bone disease like osteoporosis. And why does it do that? Because it pulls, y'all look this stuff up yourselves. It does that because it pulls calcium out of the bone. So yes, we've been looking at it wrong. Yes, it binds to calcium. Yes, it binds to iron and phosphorus. That's because it's been pulling it out of the damn arteries and putting it back into the bones, y'all. Ain't this crazy, man? I've been teaching for so long that it pulls it and you don't utilize it. It pulls and it does this, it does that. But then it started making me question, well, if it does that to us, then why are people living so long and thriving off of it that are healthier than me? That are healthier than all of my colleagues are around me? Something ain't right. So it caused me to start really deep diving and traveling and studying. Oh, yes, it does bind minerals. It does bind calcium. Yes, it does bind iron phosphate. Yes, it does bind phosphorus in the blood, not in the damn bones. From the tissues. And it puts it back into the bones. So then it started making me study saponins. That's why I did the whole thing with quinoa. I did a whole cooking show on quinoa, showing how the saponins is actually a good thing. So we've been going around looking at these anti-nutrients crazy because in the books, it's always in these damn books and what somebody teaching us and not what we are learning from experiencing. In the books it says lectins does this. In the books it says, okay, so lectins is a part of, lectins and wheat germ gluten is in wheat, right? We teach that wheat is bad. But then you go over to Australia or you go to certain parts of Africa, you get wheat and people lose weight and they don't have the incidence that we have when we eat bread over here. And then all of their wheat, they turn it into sourdough. And then you start looking at the bacteria that come from their sourdough, the weight loss that come from their sourdough, and the minerals that come from their sourdough. But we eat bread over here, and it gives us all of these allergic reactions. So you got to start just asking yourself questions like, okay, is it the wheat that's bad? Is it the lectins that's actually bad? Or is it the herbicides, the pesticides, and the insecticides that is sprayed, the glyphosate, the glyphosate that's sprayed on these things, and you can't get rid of it. I don't care if you grow organically or not. If you are growing in a 1,000-acre field and there's another field a couple meters away from yours that got herbicides and pesticides, insecticides, the moment it rains, guess what you get? You getting all of those herbicides, insecticides, and pesticides on your organic food because it's going to travel through the soil. The moment the wind blow hard, guess what you getting? You're getting all of that. So it's America. It's the way we grow our food. It's the things that we spray on our food. It's the labeling laws and how they lie through the labeling laws. It's the food, the processed food and what they do to sustain it. The additives and the preservatives here in America is what's wrong with us in our biology and why we get diseases. It's not the actual food because other people are eating them all across the world and living way longer than us. The gig is up, y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all. So at that point, I gotta be real enough and love myself and love y'all enough to say, hey, we've been looking at this wrong. Hey, maybe we need to change our view. Hey, maybe it's not the actual food, but it's the food that's in America. And then it's time to do comparative analysis, or what you would call comparative studies. And then you travel the world, you start putting people on these diets and you try them out for yourself, and then you give your report. That's my report on beans. So, yeah, with you, depending on what beans, I say get off all beans, but stay on your legumes. Legumes will not hurt you whatsoever. Will not hurt you whatsoever. And then another thing about beans have something called oligosaccharides in it. And oligosaccharides is a starch that the body cannot digest. And if you look up oligosaccharides, it is so healthy because it's a prebiotic. It's a prebiotic for something called a probiotic. A probiotic is gut microbes that's inside of you that creates what you will call the microbiome, or what I call the glycobiome, because it literally creates something called the glycocalyx of the body. The microbes love it. And then what it does is it's a prebiotic that creates more probiotics that creates a postbiotic. And this postbiotic is all the vital minerals and everything and all the hormones and all the vitamins that's released from this exchange of the oligosaccharides in the actual probiotic. So there's an actual sugar that's inside of the beans and the legumes, or what you're going to call the lentils, that the body can't break down. So resistant starch that feeds the actual probiotic, and when they mix themselves together, they're able to extrapolate some of the most beautiful chemistry that benefits the body. Not only that, this heavy starch is a fiber, and this fiber is a great GI sweeper. It will sweep the gastrointestinal tract. And then it goes in macro and it comes out macro. It doesn't get absorbed in the 9-inch intestinal tract, or what you'll call the duodenum. It goes right through the duodenum into what you will call the jejunum, into the ileum. Then it makes its way up that ascending colon, cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, the rectum, and then out of the anus. And while it's on its way, guess what it's doing? It's taking all of the trash out with it. It's taking out mucus with it. It's taking out bad microbes with it. It's taking out parasites with it. But they will say that oligosaccharides is bad. They say there's no benefits from it. They say that phytic acid is bad. They say that lectins is bad. They say that saponins is bad. They say that all these things are bad, and it's the perspective and then the way we've been taught and reading from books, and we never sat back and thought for ourselves. We have to be independent, critical thinkers, and we have to experience ourselves, and we got to go through these trials ourselves, y'all. And that's what we do. We get our money, we test things, we buy stuff. Every dollar I get, what do I do with it, Nabi? I put it back into my business. I'm doing trials. I'm doing my own trials here, y'all. My own trials. I'm doing my own experiments here. I got my own laboratory. I got my own microscope. I got my own centers. I'm putting it back because I ain't nobody reporting this stuff, so I got to do it myself. And I'm finding out that the outcome be different, family. That's all I'm saying. So yes, I love legumes. I love lentils. I'm not against beans like that no more at all. It did give me very, very bad gas, but that's from the microbes building up methane. I'm pretty sure if I stayed on them longer, my body would have got assimilated with it, but I just didn't like the gas it was giving me. But I'm not against beans, y'all. I used to be, yes, but I'm not no more. I do need to do a lot more studying on them before I start promoting them. But I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to kill you. That's regurgitation. That's what I learned from other great melanated teachers that probably got the same regurgitation words from other people. And we just got to start doing the research ourselves, family. That's the whole point of being a teacher. A teacher is the best student ever. A teacher is the best student ever. What they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appear.
Right.
Everybody take that as in you the student I be, or everybody that's on this live is the student, so I appear. I take that as I'm the student that appeared. I'm the student that's ready. And my own thinking mind is the teacher that appeared. I'm teaching myself. And through that, I'm learning all of these benefits and all of these facts. And I'm fact checking on myself through my experience. And then I come and I tell y'all. Beautiful thing. All right. She said, I'm asking you plainly for guidance because I don't want to keep guessing. It is possible to shrink fibroids naturally. Yes, it is. With my situation of cholesterol, triglycerides, A1C, glucose, fatty liver, cirrhosis, fibroids, multiple sclerosis, and HSV. Baby girl, you got a lot going on. What should my food structure look like? I'm going to put you on a plant-based ketogenic diet, like I said. I'm going to get you off of most beans, and I'm going to get you off of all nuts and seeds, but I'm going to keep you on Brazilian nuts, and I'm definitely going to let you eat some lentils. I already talked to you about the beans. It says, I would like to come to your facility to be evaluated. I'm not opening up the facility again and probably until sometime, not be at it. I'll post that probably the end of this week when we open up the facility again. It says, what is the process, wait list, paperwork required, lab images I need to bring. I'm willing to do my part. I just need to step. Lastly, my mother and I sent a gift to your facility. When you have time, could you please confirm that it was received? It was sent with respect and gratitude. It's so much stuff that came there now,
yes,
B.
Man, so much.
Man, y'all, I love y'all. Y'all send me so much stuff. I got shirts, hats. I got everything. I got everything, man. Y'all really be loving on me, and I love y'all so much for it. Thank you for taking the time to read these letters. I'm doing my best to stay disciplined, but I need real direction, and I don't want to fear. Lead me into the right place, please. Rashida Cole, Tallahassee, Florida. Shalom Lakai. Shalom Lakai. All right, so y'all, let's do this. I want y'all to go on y'all notes. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a process of elimination that's going to make her feel better, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go with the elements. All right? I want y'all to write down first thing first. She have a cholesterol hormonal issue. She needs sunlight. Write down sunlight. Put it in the chat, y'all. She's a melanated being. She needs at least 2 hours a day. 2 hours of sunlight a day. All right, next thing she needs is hydration. She needs water. She needs water from a living spring. All she got to do is go to livespring.org and she'll type in her zip code, find one that's close, get you some glass jugs from Walmart, go fill them up. Become a member and you'll pay a member fee a month and you get all the spring water you can from a fresh water. Even though you got that, you're still going to run it through a certain type of filter though, because even the spring water is contaminated. All right, so you need live spring water. All right, under that, you need H3O2. This is structured water. You're going to need my geogenetic juice. Type in geogenetic juice. I want you to do at least 8 ounces a day. Daily. All right, so we got sunlight, 2 hours minimum because you melanated. We got water and H3O2, 8 ounces of the juice, and you need at least 40 ounces of the water a day. That's 48 ounces altogether. If you can drink more, drink more. All right. Now we're going to need mineral dense foods. All right. Or I'm going to say nutrient dense foods. These are things that are completely organic. Write down organic. They're not any meat, so no meat. No dairy. One ingredient list food. Write that down. One ingredient list foods. Meaning if you look at it and it got more than one ingredient, don't get it. If it say sweet potato, There's just one sweet potato. Put that in the bag. If it says apple, organic, and it starts with a 9, put that in the bag. If it says orange, organic, and it's just orange, put it in the bag. Matter of fact, it shouldn't have a name on it. You should know what it is. If it comes with more than one thing on that ingredient list, do not put it in your body. I promise you, if you follow what I'm saying, this is going to save your life. I'm telling you, just follow what I'm saying. So, nutrient-dense food. So we got sunlight. We got spring water. We got nutrient-dense food. A part of that nutrient-dense food is mine. I created this myself. It's called the plant-based ketogenic diet. On yours, since you have fibroids and since you have cysts and parasites, we don't need no extra hormones. I'm going to automatically cross out avocados. Cross them out. Right? Another thing you're going to cross out is bananas. Cross bananas out. Cross them out. Another thing you're going to cross out is coconut flesh and coconut water. In your particular case, this is not for everybody, family. Coconut water. All right, next thing is seeds, especially flax seeds. And nuts, cut them out. But you can have Brazil nuts. And we're going to do about 5 nuts a week. And on my plant-based ketogenic diet, there's about 80 things on there you can eat, so you won't be bored. All right, so we got sunlight. The sunlight is going to help you regulate your hormones. You got spring water. The spring water is going to hydrate you and bring in all of your minerals. You got H3O2, which is structured water from your fruit juice, the geogenetic juice. The celery in there in the salt clusters. The inorganic salt cluster compounds will heal your entire body, y'all. Just get the book Celery Medium. Celery Medium will go deep into celery. I go deep into these things inside my book. I healed myself with the geogenetic celery juice, y'all. I healed myself with it. I did a 120-day juice fast. I had a bunch of things going on with me. That juice healed me. Now there's millions of people on my juice till this very day healing. And nobody died from salmonella poison or from cyanide poison, whatever these clowns are trying to say. Nobody died from. You can't mix celery with lemons. Remember that stuff? I remember it. I mean, it's been there's never been in the history of history somebody dying from drinking celery mixed with lemons to create Leotril or B7. Never happened. That's why y'all got to stay focused. All right. So now we got H3O2 structured water. Now we're going into nutrient-dense foods. Now next is oxygen. Write it down, y'all. Oxygen. You need to be outside, breathing where there's trees at. If you in the city, go to the park. Need trees, breathe, ground. Take off your shoes and ground. It's next. Oxygen. Need to do box breathing. 4 deep inhales through your nasal passages. Hold it for 4 seconds with the tongue at the actual roof of your mouth. Exhale for 4 seconds. When you exhale, your actual diaphragm, your stomach's supposed to go in. Hold for 4 seconds. It's called 4-second diaphragmatic box breathing. This will increase your oxygen 100-fold. Or you can come to my facility, get on the EY, get on the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. But you need oxygen. If you don't have those things, put oxygenated plants in your household. Get air filters and air purifier for your households. And make sure that when you're in that park for an hour a day, 2 hours, you're breathing when you're letting that sun get you. Next is magnetism. The beautiful thing about magnetism, you can get it when you get in your oxygen. You're going to ground out. Put your bare soles on the feet of the ground and let Mother Earth give you all these beautiful anti-inflammatory properties called electrons. And as you get those electrons, you're going to exchange it for something called protons. And these protons are very, 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 very inflammatory responses to the body. It reminds me of protein. Electrons remind me of alkaloids or alkaline. And then the neutral, see that? Neurons, or the neutral reminds me of nutrition. When you start matching up biochemistry with science nutrition, it all makes sense. Electrons, alkaline. Protons, proteins. See that? Then when you look at the neutrons, these are nothing but nutritions, neutral. Y'all get it? Grounding is amazing for that. ground. Get rid of those inflammatory response. Watch your blood get clean. Watch rouleau leave your blood. Watch what you would call RBC, erythrocyte aggregation, get broken up. The blood is going to flow properly. Hemoglobin can now dock back with the blood. Since hemoglobin can dock back with the erythrocytes, now your iron can dock properly, and now you can actually take oxygen and break off carbon dioxide and have this respiratory exchange beautifully happen inside the body. All right. So we got sunlight, spring water, H3O2, geogenetic juice, oxygen, magnesium. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Last but not least, family, love. Love. I'm going to write that real big. Have a support group. Be around people that love you. Be around people that encourage you. Be around people that play my stuff all day. You walk in the house, you just hear Yahki on there, or any somebody else speaking positive. Preferably, Yahki is playing on your TV though. Go to YahkiTV.com. Get on your phone and download the Yahki Radio app. All of my stuff is on there. Order my book, but you can read my book in the next couple of months because it's coming to everybody. It's getting printed as we speak. Hallelujah for that. Toda Rabba Yahweh. You see that? Love yourself and be around people that love you, that speaks positivity to you, that's going to help you do your affirmations, that's going to help you cleanse, that's going to support you on your detox. They ain't going to be eating chicken around you because they know that chicken is an addiction and a trigger for you. They going to love you and support your healing journey. See that? And do not be alone because loneliness is the #1 driver of inflammation. You do all of these things, get my geogenetic level 2. And I promise you this will help you out. Like we said, we was going to do 10 people. So this is our 4th letter. We got 6 more to go. Everybody that we do a letter on, they get a free geo. So Rashida Cole out of Tallahassee, you get a free geo. All right? You get a free geo.
All praises.
All praises. All right. Any questions so far about her case or any questions about y'all? Yes, I ordered the book. Can't wait. Man, the book's so hard, y'all. I want to... Should I show them a preview real quick? Not B?
Yes, you can.
I'm finna pull up a preview of this book, y'all. Mind blown. This is what they sent me right before the print. I'm finna send it to y'all. They call this the final copy. Watch this. Let me find my editor. He just sent it to me. Boom. Let me send this over to this computer real quick. Hold on, family. Is that it? When they start doing airdrop codes, I don't know nothing about that. It's making me do an airdrop code, y'all. That's weird as hell.
Yeah, I just seen it. Oh, probably because you hit my computer.
Oh, it came to you?
Yeah, it came to this one too.
Okay. Let me try this again.
See this?
Here you go.
Nope. It said
I got it. Okay, it came to me.
Good.
Hey, y'all, check this out. Ooh wee. Hold on, family. I can't show y'all because there's a link. I don't need all. I can't show because there's a link. Y'all be looking at the link. Damn. It's a link to it, and if I show y'all, y'all gonna find the link. And it's gonna show you the whole book while they print it. And that just ain't gonna be fair to everybody. But man, the book's so hard. Let me do this though. I got something for y'all. I can still show it to y'all. Watch. Hold on. I'm just gonna send it another way.
In front of the screen. For the camera, ain't gonna do it on chest.
Man, they still gonna see that.
Okay.
Let me do it. I got another way for them. Let me do it for my phone. Go do it though. I'm just so excited about it. I gotta show y'all. I'm gonna answer some of y'all questions too. 820 pages. I might just read some of it to y'all. Alright, here you go.
Why do you keep saying no coconut water though?
Man, I explained that coconut water so yeah, I'm not finna explain it again.
Somebody else jumped in.
Y'all need to go back and listen to it again.
Yeah.
All right, download. Where is it? Oh, it didn't pop up. Oh, and my phone went dead. Yeah, y'all, forget it. Oh, it ain't pop up, y'all. And my phone dead. I can't send it. All right, let's see. Y'all got some questions for me? All right, this says, can I reverse neuropathy? I feel like I'm dying with this pain. Usually, neuropathy comes from diabetes, and neuropathy is some type of circulation issue and nerve damage, or what you would call nerve damage of the myelin sheaths. The best thing to do to get rid of neuropathy is to increase your natural steroid hormones, which is by way of your kidneys and your adrenals. If I was you, I would get on an all fruit and vegetable diet. I would not cook any fried foods because that's going to mess up your inflammatory. That's going to make you have a very bad inflammatory response. Not only that, you need to hydrate more. You need to increase circulation throughout the body, and you need to do things that calms and heal the nerves. Blue vervain heals and calms the nerve. Lily of the valley leaf heals and calms the nerve. Lavender and chamomile heals and calms the nerve. Valerian root heals and calms the nerve. These are teas that you can make out of herbs that heals and calm the nerve. Dandelion root is going to help cleanse the liver, but you can detoxify and regenerate those myelin sheaths. And then you need blood root, or you need what you would call greater burdock root, and what you'll call red leaf flower bloods, the clover, red leaf clover flower bloods, to cleanse the blood, to increase circulation to those nerves. If I was you, I would do the kidney and adrenal kit. You need to stimulate the adrenal glands. You can stimulate the adrenal glands with licorice root. If you do got hypertension or high blood pressure, what I would do is do wild yam root, and yeah, juniper berries, and cleanse out those kidneys. Get those adrenal glands back online, for those adrenals can make the right type of steroids that you need to be an anti-inflammatory response and to be an antioxidant to go throughout the body and to help you heal up the myelin sheaths while increasing blood flow and oxygen to those areas, which is cleansing out those blood vessels and docking hemoglobin and iron to get oxygen throughout the body properly. I do the kidney and adrenal kit from off my website, and I will go on my Eat to Live section of my website, and I will eat from the Eat to Live page. And that's how you get rid of what they call neuropathy. Neuropathy is nothing but a nerve issue and a circulation issue simultaneously. If you do that, do it for 21 to 45 days, and you will be writing me a letter thanking me. What else we got? Y'all sending them so fast. Yes, it's called the Eat to Live page, Jazzy D31. Go on my website. You type in and look at the header where the board's at. Eat to Live. You don't message nobody back. No, because I get millions of messages a day, y'all. We get 1,000 calls a day. I don't see why y'all think y'all can just call in and talk. I'm busy. That's why I pay people. I got all types of contractors and employees. We pay a bunch of people to answer. We got a whole person just answer the phone, and still people. How many missed calls we get a day? And we got a person that answer the phone. Thousands, y'all. It's not enough. That's the reason why we opening up the school to teach y'all to be healers of oneself. For stuff like this won't happen. I promise my heart is in the right place, y'all. I promise you it is. All right, so sweet Nasas, Insad, I think I said it. Tips for elderly person with prostate cancer. Prostate cancer, ways to cure fibroids. If you want to talk about fibroids, go to the beginning of this video. When we talk about prostate cancer, I want to know his specific prostate antigen numbers. Oh, how high are they? And then when you start looking at the prostate and you look at cancer to the prostate, there's going to always be a parasite associated. So it might be some parasites inside of that prostate. And it's also going to be an oxygen deficiency issue, what you would call mitochondrial failure or a state of hypoxia. So the 7 exact things that we just mentioned on the sheets, apply all these to his lifestyle, except the only thing he needs is something called the anti-inflammatory diet and not the plant-based ketogenic diet. And then if I was you, I would get a big magnet. Get in contact with me, shoot me an email. I should shoot you over a magnet. He need to be sitting on the negative side of the magnet every chance he get. a big magnet, that magnetic field to pull all of that inflammation out of the body. Once he get rid of that inflammation and that mucosal response, that them cells can now receive oxygen. This will get rid of the hypoxic state, and he can go back in an aerobic state and get out of anaerobic state, get rid of the yeast and fungus. Anything that forms yeast and fungus, get it out of the body, and get off a high sugar diet. And I'm not talking about fruits and vegetables. I'm talking about high sugar diets as processed foods, things that's going to raise the triglycerides and make fats accumulate on the liver. No candies, no soda pops. Get on the single ingredient list foods that I was talking about, and you'll see that go away. But I am curious about how high his PSA, prostate specific antigen numbers, is, because that usually can give you a timeline on how quick you can get those down. But parasite driven, I have not seen one cancer that's not parasite driven, and that's why these people are going on these animal dewormers, y'all, in healing. That's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. They getting on animal dewormers and healing from these so-called cancer diseases. What do that mean at that point? And that's why I keep asking people, what do that mean? So you can do the same thing naturally without compromising your liver and just taking natural parasitic anti-parasites like greater wormwood, slippery elm, fresh cloves, Podiarco, or Podiarco, should I say, things like that. Black or green walnut hull. Make teas and tinctures out of these things. Flush out those parasites, and you usually see these C words disappear. But usually for that, we'll do the geogenetic therapeutic package level 2, and we'll customize it and make it just for him. But follow this video, put them on the same exact things, get in the nature, get in the sun, make sure you're drinking clean, uncontaminated water, make sure you're wearing the right clothing, get away from all of this hygienic issue, all these hygienic chemicals that causes all type of issues, and you will see the body heal itself. You are your own healer, y'all. I am not your healer. You're your own healer. I will never take that from you. I heal myself, and I'm teaching you how to do the same. Geogenetic 2 off the website. What is the website? My website is www.yahkiawaken.com. Here go the website right here, y'all. They be asking what's the website like they ain't never been.
It's right there on the screen.
My people crazy.
Right on the screen. Right
My people is crazy. Right, this is it. www.yahkiawaken.com. And if you go under education tab and click on Eat to Live, this is the diet that I was talking about. They give you a whole diet list, y'all. Whole mucus list diet list. So make sure y'all check that out. I love y'all, man. Y'all is funny. All right, y'all. I'm going to try to be live again sometime early next week. Keep y'all updated. We'll do another thing. I hope I helped y'all out. I hope y'all went through everything I said. I won't take this down. Y'all can play this back, research it, go back and keep replaying these things. Remember, a student and a teacher is the same thing. If he's not a student but claiming he's a teacher, he's not a real teacher. Information changes, information evolves. Do not be afraid of the evolutionary change of knowledge because it's present. It happens all the time. Don't be scared of it. Do not put a cap, do not put limitations, or do not put a ceiling on the way your brain reacts to its environment and how it's able to grow and how your consciousness is able to expand. Always be willing to sit down and listen, keep an open mind, be willing to learn new things, and it's okay to be wrong. If you are a scientist like I am, if you are a natural nutritional scientist like I am, if you're into human biology and microbiology like I am, and you're reading all these books that's written by other men with their own agenda and their own biased opinions, if you don't humble yourself and you can't keep an open mind and to admit being brainwashed and being wrong and finding new knowledge that makes more sense, then you should not be teaching, family. And I'm going to leave it off as that. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the guys. Peace to the earth. Shalom lacha. Ani ohev mishpati. I love y'all. Nitra'e. I see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.